We're up to part 9 of our conversation with Richie Furay. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. Peter Tork's house.
Yep.
I found out, I didn't know he was a nudist, but to each his own. But what, and Mama Cass's house, these were people who just had open doors. You just come on in, hang out, do your stuff. That must have been, I mean, that does not happen anymore.
No, that doesn't happen anymore. And to tell you the truth, I was not really a part of, I've always kept in my career a low profile. I mean, that's one of the reasons I left Los Angeles. I didn't need to be seen at this club or at this place or at this guy's house or this, it was nothing that really meant that much to me. And consequently, even though the doors were open and I probably go visit one of these places one time or another, Mama Cass's or Barry McGuire's or Peter Tork, I didn't really, I didn't really socialize that much. I wasn't, I wasn't an eccentric that just stayed away, but it just didn't. Now, Stephen, we met Peter back in New York. Peter was doing the same thing we were doing, man. And when Stephen and I and my group were playing back at these little pass the basket clubs in New York City, Peter was there, and that's where we first met him. And then, of course, when he, Stephen auditioned for the Monkees and got turned down. And he said, well, I think you ought to try this guy. And that's how Peter actually got the audition. But Stephen and Peter were friends. And Stephen was, he socialized, man. He was involved with, and, he was with everybody. I don't know if it was a thing where he felt, that he needed to be recognized and seen, or whether it was just, hey, this is just him. Just like me, I didn't have to do that. So I never did, go hang out with all of these people, and visit with them a lot.
I just finished watching Laurel Canyon, and man, you're all over that. Of course you are, though.
Well, the first part of this latest one that came out was pretty good. The other two, I felt like, my address was 2300 Laurel Canyon Boulevard back in the day, and I felt particularly the one with Jacob Dylan and the other one that was on it was a PBS special, I think, with about 7 episodes by Ken, what's his name? But anyway, there wasn't even a mention. It's like, they don't even, it's like, well, we were, Poco wasn't even there, or Buffalo Springfield, we weren't there. Anyway, hey, John, it doesn't make any difference. It's what it is what it is.
Well, yeah, but there's I was telling your guy, I was saying, like, let's push the living, out of the documentary coming up with you, and you have a GoFundMe page. Tell me how the impetus for all that for the documentary.
Well, this friend of mine, David Stone, who is my manager right now, actually quite a few years ago, now this has been about 10 years ago, my guitar playing friend and I were doing a little tour back east, and this guy and his family kept following us around. And I thought, man, this guy is stalking us. And, as it turned out, David became a really good friend. And, when some managerial things started to, just kind of unwind for me, he stepped in and said, hey, let me just help out if I can. And David's a jeweler. He has a jewelry business back in New Jersey. And I'm thinking, what does he know about music or anything? But obviously, he has just had a passion for my career and my life, and has really done a lot of neat things. And he's the one that suggested, let's do this documentary on your life. And so he got together with another friend of his, Denny Klein, and they put this thing together. We've done a lot of interviews. Obviously, Cameron Crowe did the trailer, and I was Cameron's, one of his first. If I was not his first interview when he was 16, I think I was. But it was so special, and that all came about in a very strange way, too. On my social media page, one day on some post that I put up, I saw Cameron Crowe, and I'm thinking, no, this is not Cameron. I haven't heard from the guy in 35, 40 years, And so I wrote back and I said, man, if this is you, I want you to know I'm coming to California. I'm opening up for a Timothy B. Schmidt show, and I sure love to see you. And he wrote back and said, it's me. I'm coming. And we hooked up after 40 years. It was just, I mean, it's you know, you never know who's behind on some of these, you know, social media deals when you see some names or something. And sure enough, it was Cameron. And so he agreed to do the trailer for the documentary. And it was just a real special getting together and having him do that. I hope he'll do, you know, the narrative for the whole thing. I know John Einerson. I don't know if you know who John is. He wrote a book with me on my life. Actually, the Buffalo Springfield version of it called For What It's Worth. He's a Canadian, by the way, and he's over in Winnipeg, and just a really terrific guy. So he's writing like the script now for the documentary, and so it's gonna be really cool, you know. And I really appreciate David thinking that, you know, my life's really worth you know, putting it down on film like he has, and so it's going to be good. Not only that do I have coming out, but a year and a half ago, my band at the time was at the Troubadour in Los Angeles, and we recorded live the entire Poco Deliverin' record 50 years ago. It was, and so we did that plus a whole other set of my newer music, and so I got a double CD and video of that that's in the process. It's just about it's been mixed, and now they're just, you know, doing some coordination with the video and all on that. And then I have another project. I'm 76 years old, man. I got more going on now than I know what to do with, man. But I just recorded a record, and for what it's worth, I have no idea what it even means today. But a friend of mine, Val Gray, he came to me about a year and a half ago, and he said, hey, I got this project, man. Would you like to do it with me? Now, Val recorded my album, I Still Have Dreams, back in 1979. We've been friends, you know, well, we've known each other since the early Buffalo Springfield days. And so when he came, I said, well, what's your idea? And he said, well, how about recording country classics? And I'm thinking, oh, man, I don't know. What am I going to do with that? And he said, well, think about it, and let's just start throwing some songs back and forth. And so when the first 3 or 4 songs came back from him, that it's been songs that I had been touched with and wanted to actually record myself, I said, I'm in. Let's do it. This project is blowing me away. I mean, it sounds so good. Val is such a tremendous producer. He's 2 years older than me, and he's got a great ear. I tell you, John, I can't believe how good this thing sounds. Maybe I'm going deaf. I don't know, but this thing sounds so good. My daughter and I just came back from Los Angeles last week, where it was recorded all in Nashville, but we went with all the, you know, the COVID stuff going on, and it's gotten pushed back, and we had to cancel a session in January where my daughter and Timothy B. Schmidt was going to sing on it because everything was just coming apart at that time. So we just went out last week, and Jesse and Timothy put their parts on 4 songs, and so you know, the project's coming along. It's ready to be mixed, and I think BMG is going to release it. And so for whatever, I don't know what that means today in the music world, but I'll tell you what, these songs, and they weren't karaoke. We didn't just do a karaoke song. You know, we took the song and we made it our own, and it really it sounds great. I'm so happy with it. I can't believe it.
I Still Have Dreams. I was 19 when that was released, and that meant a lot to me. That tune, that project meant a lot to me. And I remember I was reading your bio this morning, and I do most of my research just before, but I've been playing you guys. I've been playing you on the radio forever, and so I know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I'm going, wow, he toured with America. Wow. And in '79, Jerry and Dewey, they were a duo at that time. Dan had left, and he had a song. Affected me like I Still Have Dreams. I was at that turning point. What the hell am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do with my life? And he had a song called 1960 from Silent Letter, which had the same effect on me as that tune did. Because, and I've always wanted to talk to you to tell you that, because it was one of those songs that kind of centered me. I felt a certain sense of peace listening to that song.
Yeah, great song. A friend of mine, Billy Batstone, actually wrote it. And Billy was a friend of mine who... he started out driving my equipment truck and taking my equipment around when I had a little band, one of the first inversions of the Richie Furay band. And, finally when, the band made another switch, Billy, who was a bass player, he said, "Hey man, can I try out for the band?" And Billy became my bass player after driving my truck around. Billy's a really good friend, great songwriter, and that song, and he actually wrote 3 of the songs on that record. I can't remember the last. There's one, "Oh Mary," and that one was all right. But the other song, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was great. I remember recording with Val, though, even project. I got most of my lead vocals were live when the tracks were going down. And when we were in Nashville recording this new project, we recorded 14 songs in 4 days. And I think 9...
That's Nashville, all right.
Yeah, but these songs are, I've recorded in Nashville since 1997. And I tell you what, these guys, they are great. Those musicians are the best in the world. We didn't use the exact same band that I have recorded with in the past, but they are so good that you are so confident when you're out there, when you're just doing your part. I wouldn't even think about picking up a guitar with Tom Bukovic and Chris Lusinger in there, but I did 9 to 10 of those vocals live when the tracks were going down. Now, of course, they're tweaked. I won't deny that. I'm not singing perfect stuff, but you can do that today. But the feel is what's there on all of the songs and the tracks, because the vocals were going down when the tracks were being recorded. And it was great. So I forgot what I was going after with. I was going to tell you just being able to sing those songs live when the tracks are going down. And I hope some of the artists. I hope when they hear some of these songs, I hope they appreciate, what we did. We did have a guy named John Barry. I don't know if you know who John Barry is. He had a song called "Your Love Amazes Me." And John, came in and he's singing on the project. And we have a couple other people, of course, some of my other friends are coming in singing on, like Timothy and all. But it was so great to meet John after, I heard that song, "Your Love Amazes Me," driving through Montana with the radio going in and out. I said, "Ooh, recorded that." This was back in 1990,
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great #1 big song. Anyway, man, I'm just rambling and babbling.
No, this is good. This is good.
Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. And buy a t-shirt, help support our channel, link in the description of this video. I'm John Beaudin from Rocky Street Music.